ex-boyfriend was 22 years younger than me, hot MAGA Republican New York City police officer. Yeah.
Okay, sit down. I have so much tea to tell you. Yesterday, popular trans actress Laverne Cox announced that for 3 to 5 years or so, she actually dated a MAGA cop. So a Trump-supporting MAGA Republican cop. And the internet is absolutely ablaze. He allegedly had blonde hair, blue eyes, and he was 20 at the time, which is quite the age difference between Laverne Cox and him. So popular trans actress Laverne Cox kind of rose to fame in her role in Orange is the New Black. It's the first time I knew her as an actress. Amazing role, great trans visibility, and a fantastic character. And she's an amazing member of the community in so many ways, as an activist, as an influencer, but like MAGA supporter. And he was also a cop as well. This is tea. This is crazy. Today we're going to go into all of the information that I could find so far. She also has like had a lot of backlash and a lot of people commenting. So she went live on Instagram a bit after, and we'll kind of look at a bit of that as well. And I will be taking some of the reactions from the community. But this is crazy. There's so much to unpack. There's so much to talk about. To be honest, I'm going to be more talking about the guy in this because there is enough to unpack there without even talking about Laverne Cox herself, her wonderful self. Love her. I've talked about her on the show before. She's wonderful. But there are some critiques to make. However, there is a small disclaimer. I am a white woman on the internet. I will be very aware of how I'm talking about a trans woman of colour, largely different lived experience. It's not for me to comment on like certain elements of this. And I'm open to critique and further education if there are some people in the comments that think like, okay, you have no right to say this, get her out of your mouth. Totally fair. Let me know. I will try and kind of be very aware of that and be very like humble in this. But there is so much to talk about. It is kind of wild. It's kind of wild. I'm like pinching myself. Honestly, there is so much else going on in the world, but for now, we're going to keep it lighthearted. I've done quite a few heavy videos recently, so it's nice to talk about something that's kind of low stakes. Let's be for real. But so anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. I've got the giggles. I never get the giggles. I never get the giggles while filming. What is happening? Oh, it's a good one today, folks. Right.
When we met 5 years ago at the height of the pandemic, he was 26, I was 48. He is blonde hair, blue-eyed, MAGA Republican voter who is a New York City police officer. We were madly in love. I did not develop any of these politics. I still have my own. Yeah.
Where do I begin? Honestly, I have so many notes. I have so much to say. So much to say. Okay, let me break it down into different categories. Well, yeah, school chapters, love. There's definitely been a polarization between left and right in modern Western cultures. Like we've seen it in the UK, it's happening here in Japan now, and obviously in the US, famously. Like in the UK, it kind of started to be very apparent after Brexit. And even in the US, Trump's first term was like a clear, like kind of point in the road where there's two sides of you know, the coin, as it were. And I think because of the internet and everything, we are polarizing. I think also because of the mass form of information online, people are becoming a lot more aware of issues now, political issues, and so they are actually finding they have an opinion more than they realized. And the further we hurl towards late stage capitalism, neo-feudalism, we're all finding ourselves, you know, less economically well off, and so there's that. Anyway, without going further into all of that, I just want to talk about this guy. We don't know him. We don't know his name so far. But there's this guy in 2020 who is MAGA supporting, right-leaning in that sense, at least in some senses, enough to vote for Trump. And he's on Tinder, because this is where Laverne Cox said she met him. He's on Tinder, and he scrolls and he scrolls. He's also a police person, so like you can't be not aware of like what that means, the ramifications. Anyway, and he scrolls past on Tinder and finds Laverne Cox, which first and foremost, amazingly lucky. Oh, is that another? Konnichiwa. Sorry about that, I just got a package. Yes, I live in Japan, for anyone new here. If you are new here, my name is Louise. I run this channel, it's called Major Archetype. Stick around, I cover this kind of stuff. Anyway, so you're lucky enough to have just like stumbled on Laverne Cox on Tinder. You shoot your shot and you end up dating her for 5 years. You're the luckiest guy. Like, what I want to break down though is how she's mentioned in a few clips, I'll see if I can edit them straight in right now, how like he didn't tell her his political views or what he does, i.e. being a cop.
I went into a relationship, fell in love with someone. I didn't fully know his politics when I fell in love with him. I didn't know what he did for a living when I fell in love with him. But when I found out, I was like, well, there's lots of lovely things here. Maybe I can make this work.
How this man decided to be like, okay, I'm going to shoot my shot with Laverne Cox. Because lucky me, found her on Tinder. She's gorgeous, she's stunning, she's everything. I'm not going to tell her that I'm right-leaning, that I'm a MAGA supporter, that I'm going to vote Trump or have voted Trump. I'm not going to tell her that I'm a police person, because obviously that is a institutionally racist organization, and her being a person of color might not like that. So I'm going to keep those things from her. Subsequent to that, we're going to fall in love. And then eventually the day will come where I'll have to tell her about my terrible right-wing personal views. Like, what are y'all doing? What are men doing? That is not okay. The way that if a woman did the same, or a femme-presenting person decided to just lie about two huge things in her life, the manosphere would eat that up. They would gobble that up. Apparently women are just like gold diggers. They don't want to work. They're just lazy. Imagine if women just like hid what they believed politically and hid what they did for a job. Or like, it's the equivalent of like, if you wanted to think about it from a manosphere's perspective, it's like, no, yeah, I want to work. I'm happy for like a dual income. No, I don't want children. Like, I don't worry about that. Oh, actually, I've been poking holes in our condoms and I've decided that I'm not going to work. So you have to support me. Like, it's that level of like, how the hell do you think you're going to get away with that? What's really heartbreaking, going back to Laverne Cox for a second, holding some critique back for a second, it's really sad to see how like she was so in love. She talks about being really in love with him and loving his soul, and how his soul wasn't MAGA and stuff.
He has a beautiful soul and has really beautiful qualities, and I was in love.
Like, he let her fall in love with him, knowing he hadn't been completely honest about himself. Like, to me, I got so much more heat for this guy. Like, that's insane. That's psychopathic to me. And sadly, it's not that rare. I think we see that a lot of people coming out, a lot of women coming out and saying that men are hiding these beliefs. But in general, a lot of right-leaning people know that their opinions are unpopular. Unless you're that guy on Jubilee, oh my God, what the hell? They know their opinions are unpopular and that people around them will judge them for them. So they just hide those opinions. Now, I don't know what to say to that, because I'm not someone that holds those opinions, but like, I would rather people said them with their full chest. Let us put you in the category that you deserve to be in. And if you don't want to be in that category, understand then the reason is because you are thinking about things that are unfair, inhumane, and horrible. Like, if everyone's judging you and you're losing friends and family and jobs because of your personal opinions, get educated and change your opinions. I have no sympathy for people like that guy on Jubilee who lost his job and now he's crowdfunding from right-wing fascists to make a living. There are things I'd love to say about him and I can't because of YouTube. But if you know, you know. Okay? Someone should do it. Tangential to this, I also can't help but kind of connect the dots and also make commentary on Down Low Guys, DL Guys. I did an episode with this with Soul Bunny, fantastic creator, a trans woman of color as well, and she talks about this, like the DL guy thing. I mean, actually, you know, what was interesting about our conversation is that she a slight bit younger than me, and just enough to be like a different generation, like closer to Gen Z, says that like DL is like a different thing. It's a thing, but not as much. Whereas like my generation and above, definitely like Laverne Cox generation, like a DL guy is like kind of the best it used to be, but in certain circles, in some ways. Me growing up, when I first started my transition, like a guy giving me any form of attention online was like affirming. To kind of hint at some of the opinions I will say about Laverne Cox, the first and foremost though is like, I can't judge her as a trans woman for being happy to have found love and seeking that love, because that love as a trans woman, before we go into like intersectionality and stuff that I can't really comment on, but I can be aware of from the side, I can see. But like, just speaking as a trans woman to another trans woman, I understand how hard it is to find love. In that generation, it was even harder. And how when you have that love and someone that loves you, you are forgiving of other things. That's tea. And trans people in the comments, let me know if you agree. And cis people that you're like, yeah, but how dare you? What if you don't know what it's like as a trans person? I can say that at least. When my husband and I met as friends, there was this sense of like, the ball's in your court, babe, because I am I have less to choose from. It's tea, but it's true. Yes, that's changed. Yes, it's definitely changed even in my, like, in the past decade. But like, I am not capable of just walking down the street and finding someone. Like, I have to be aware of my options, be aware of the limitations of those options, of people that will date me but not be open about it, that will love me but not tell their family about it. Like, so I can understand how someone would choose love over that particular political paradox. I don't agree with that. And I think me now, I'd rather be single than date someone MAGA, even if I loved them. I couldn't do it. I've cut out family for less. But I'm just saying, before I go into the comments of her, like, I kind of get, sadly, I see from that perspective. One last thing before I move on as well, she talked about, like, going back to Laverne Cox talking about being in love and loving him and etc. Without commenting on someone's relationship, like, we don't know anything about them. Like, I do worry if, like, I do think, can you be in love with someone, believe any form of adjacent politics to them being less than human? Does that make sense? Let me explain that. If you are right-leaning and you vote for Trump, you know matter-of-factly that administration is white supremacist, it is anti-LGBT, it is anti, black liberation, it's so many things. Even if you believe that one of them is, like, doesn't concern you enough that you can vote for the whole lot, I don't see how you can then date someone who is smack bang within that circle of targeting, of dehumanization, of objectification, of disempowering, and just all of those things. Can you really love someone? Can you truly actually be in love with someone and vote for their human rights to be taken away? Like, is what I'm saying. And I'm no doubt that she seemed in love with him, but, like, we don't know him. We have not seen him in this. If you can lie to someone from the offset about what you do and what you believe, and then you fall in love with their character and personality, but you continue to be that way, I don't know if that's love. Is that love? Like, can anyone define love enough to tell me? If you're in love with someone, you would do anything for that person. You would put that person's happiness above your own. I think that's actually one of the definitions of love. I might have made that up. I might have pulled that out of my ass. People often define love to be like, I would put my own happiness above that person. Voting for a political party that would dehumanize that person is the antithesis of that. How can that be love? Explain to me how that can be a mutual love. One-sided at best. This guy sounds to me like anyone that's capable of doing those things has sociopathic tendencies. I wouldn't be surprised if he had that. We don't know him. This poor guy, he could just be really nice. I don't know, but...
So it wasn't a prank. She just released another live video where she was talking about her experience dating this white police officer that was a Trump supporter. And I'm sorry, I just had to stop watching within the first 5 minutes because she was romanticizing the situation. Like, she did not lower herself to be with a man who was not deserving of her at all. Huge slap in the face to the people who are advocating for Black trans women every day, whether it be through social media, whether it be through our own societal communities, whether it be on the front lines, actually protesting. I can't justify that. Baby, the way I would have went to my grave never saying that. You should have kept it. You should have kept it, sis. You should have kept it. We don't need to know everything. We don't need to know everything.
I'm not interested in jumping on the hate train for Laverne, but I also believe that you gotta be careful what you say because this is what happens. And you know what, Laverne? Where you're experiencing criticism, I'm gonna do something different and offer you compassion, offer you grace. Because you live, you learn, and you grow. And it looks like you're doing that work. Oh, and P.S. Let's not act like conservative men don't like the girls. Especially the Black trans girls. Come on now. Tell me your thoughts.
I will now talk a little bit about Laverne Cox and the discussion about her actions to date this guy. Okay, in the live, she said, like, she didn't want to dehumanize people on the right wing that vote for Trump. She wanted to look past that to this guy.
It feels like a lot of people in the comment section are dehumanizing people who have different political beliefs than they do. And I see that all over social media. I see that all over the media. If someone has different political beliefs, they're somehow not human anymore. And that is something that dehumanizing anyone is not consistent with my values.
For me, it's not quite that the left is dehumanizing MAGA voters or Trump supporters or Republicans. And if anyone that does, they shouldn't be. The whole point of the right is an egalitarian outlook on all people. Like Sandpiper puts it himself, like healthcare for all, even the Nazis, unfortunately. Like, yeah, we should like not have Nazis, but that doesn't mean they should not get healthcare. The idea is it's egalitarian, human rights for everyone. The problem with that is that the right takes advantage of that ideology because they don't believe in equal human rights for all people. They don't have an egalitarian approach. They have a hierarchy, a supremacist hierarchy. That's the kind of problem. It's okay for her to say, like, I didn't want to dehumanize someone who's right wing, but they are dehumanizing us. And so we're not dehumanizing them like back. We're defending ourselves against their attacks. And I think that's a really key difference that obviously I can't speak for everyone. This isn't always the case. Of course there is, cases of like people dehumanizing people. You see these really sad things of like in Texas when the floods happened, people are like, good, they probably voted Trump, they deserve it. It's like, no, that's actually not what people on the left stand for under my understanding. Like, it's just as bad. That's a very centralist lib take of like, I get the emotion behind it, but there's a difference between an instantaneous emotion of someone getting their just desserts to the actual egalitarian approach to it. But it's not quite that we're necessarily trying to fight fire with fire. It's a very fair defense mechanism against what's being done onto various communities and minorities. And the thing that I would like to comment on is that like Laverne Cox should so know that. I thought she would have, as a kind of career she's had, the activism she's done. I thought she would be aware of that juxtaposition. You're undoing so much work by letting this MAGA supporter get you and have you and be able to have access to you and your body, which again goes back to what we were saying. It's kind of wild that the man in this situation is getting so much more than she is. She's giving up so much more for him because, yes, she says she challenges some of his ideologies and they would come to a discussion and stuff. But fundamentally, if you're both discussing two sides of one version of the side being dehumanizing you and the other one defending themselves, that's not an even playing field of just two people can agree to disagree. That's the problem. That's the great Jubilee paradox. It's not fair to just have two sides argue it out evenly and walk away from that when one side is arguing for despicable, dehumanizing, white supremacist, like anti-human notions, and the other is defending them. Like that's not an even playing field. And so in this relationship, it's a kind of small commentary on the whole wider problem of like right-wing men thinking they have access to women's bodies, spaces, minds, and to allow them in is to then give them what they want. Like, I just think that's crazy. I think that's crazy and it's sad. And I just thought Laverne Cox was someone who was aware of all those things. Maybe she is, and she chose to do it anyway for the above reasons. Because love is hard to find, because we don't know her, because any number of reasons. Like, it's just a bit shocking. It's all a bit shocking. It's just a bit shocking. It's the best way I can put it. It's a bit shocking.
I was attempting to see his humanity beyond that. And I was never under any delusion that the Republican Party isn't who they are. And yes, I understand that the Republican Party wants me dead. Like, I get that. But that's not everybody in the Republican Party. That's like these are the elected officials. These are, lives defending freedom, etc.
I do feel there is a bit of like a double standard from Laverne Cox's side. Like, she's been vocal about Trump. She's been vocal about the administration and standing up for trans rights. She's been someone I consider to be like a role model level of like being that strong about things. Of course, as a trans woman of color in the industry, she's at the vanguard of that. And this is giving like, how much of that was real? I don't know. How much of that still stands if you the whole time were dating someone who was a MAGA supporter? Like, I don't know. If I had a friend who was dating MAGA, I would cut that friend out at this point. Absolutely. Because by default, they are adjacent to someone who is dehumanizing a vast minority of people. a large group of minorities. Well, and so I think if that friend tried to be like an activist and fight for rights, it'd be like, yeah, it starts at home, low love. Like, kick that right-wing nutter out your bed first. I don't know. Like, maybe that's just me. I don't think the two can kind of coexist, personally, in my opinion. And I think a few more people did agree. It's giving slight pick-me energy. It is a bit. There are elements of this that are pick-me energy. They really are. It's like, okay, I have all of these views. I have this activist work I'm doing. I'm vocal about all these things. But that doesn't matter about who I'm dating. Don't worry about it. Don't look at that. Like, that's kind of wild. It's wild. It's wild. It's wild. All this to say, I do want to kind of balance that out. Love is love. I know that is a cheesy phrase that like corporations use at Pride these days, but love is love. Love is amazing. Love is special, and love can change people. Let's be so for real. There is a parallel universe and a multiverse where her love could have changed his mind and he could have moved from the right wing to the left wing. The idea of being egalitarian and being forgiving is the idea that anyone along the right wing pipeline can turn back and educate themselves and change their minds, and that could have been an option for him. So giving her grace in the relationship she was in, who knows where it could have looked like she was going with him. He could have been changing his mind. I don't know. There's also that. This is a chronology that we're looking at. We're not looking at a specific snapshot of life. Does it undo all of the work she's done? I don't think so. But does it call into question her motives a little bit? Maybe yes. It does for me personally. Like, I won't look at her now in interviews and on TV as this, like, I don't know, amazing, untouchable trans activist that's done so much. I will keep this in mind and be like, ooh, are you dating JD Vance? Like, no one knows now. I feel like there are other things that we would be quick to comment on if it were other people that I find myself not wanting to comment on. But like, maybe it's just fair to just bring that up. Like, if it were a male person dating someone that age, people would be quick to comment on the age difference. So why aren't we commenting on it with her and him? Again, probably because they're a bigger fish to fry. Let's be so for real. But at the end of the day, she found love. That's really hard to do in this economy. I support that, and I support her ability to have love. I know the challenges of that, even from my side. It's kind of wild that I more think about this guy. I can't get my head around this guy. How can you be right-leaning and have all of these opinions that affect you and benefit you? And you vote for Trump because of, say, for example, we don't know why, but like because of the economy or because of any number of reasons, and then not apply them to your partner, I think is insane. Like, I don't think that's love. I don't think you can truly love someone if you want their human rights to be below yours. But then again, that's how these right-wing people work, isn't it? The women are inferior. That's tea, but then don't, like, date a openly, like, trans activist. Like, I'm so stumbled. I'm so stumbled by this. I'm so stumbled by this. I was singing a rendition of Pink Pony Club about this, and it was, like, Pink Leopard Club, and it was about, like, what have you done? Oh, I won't sing it because it wasn't that good. But I'm singing in my house on my own about this. It's tea.
Me loving someone who voted for someone who was, I believe, is a fascist and white supremacist and all that stuff. He had his reasons that I sort of got, and honestly.
And she even said in the live, like, he has his reasons, ... and I sort of get. In conclusion, is say in conclusion again, bitch. It's giving, do as I say, not as I do. It's the vibe of like, yes, I'm gonna be vocal about all of these things that affect me, but when it comes to my right to happiness, I'm allowed to put those in a box and focus on myself, which I think is selfish, but I get it. In another life, I think many of us could have done that. I think if we think about it, like 5 years ago, I know it's hard to imagine, but the world wasn't as crazy as it was now, or not many people are aware of how crazy it was. I imagine Laverne Cox was someone that did know about these things, but maybe she didn't. Along this video, I put in some references as well. I'm sure check out those creators like Blossom, wonderful creator. There's loads of other people that have much more ability to comment on more of the racial side of this that I'm not going to. I don't have the lived experience. I don't have the same understanding of life, and I can educate myself as much as possible, but it doesn't give me a right to that space to comment on it as much. But if you're more interested in that side, check out those creators and more. From my perspective, disappointing. All we just get is disappointed. Like, it makes me so grateful for the random like cis allies that say the right thing, or like, you know, anyone that is like overtly on the side of allyship and like of the correctness, to me now stands out even more every time we lose someone else that I thought like, maybe they're on the good side. No, we've lost another one. Like, it just make it shine on the good people even more, like Pedro Pascal, who's like overtly, you know, trans ally. That reminds me, I was thinking of doing a video about like all the different like celebrity parents of trans people. I just thought that'd be really cute. I thought it'd be light and fluffy, and I thought it'd be wholesome. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. And also, algorithm, unfortunately, I am trying to grow the channel. Let me know what your favourite drink is. Let me know. I must say, she's been partaking in wine a little bit recently. Had a big break from it, kind of back. We'll see how that goes. Loving wine at the moment. Other than that, my favourite beverage. We do this thing where we get sparkling water, a splash of lemon juice, some frozen fruit, like frozen like blueberries, strawberries, and some ice. And in the summer days, oh, it keeps me alive, I tell you. My husband calls it princess drink. He's like, do you want your princess drink? I'm like, yeah. So maybe I'm the pick-me. But he doesn't make it for me. He probably forgets, and I make it myself anyway. Anyway, love you all very much. Stay safe. Be doing another video soon the next time some crazy thing happens. Otherwise, let me know what you want to see. Been a bit heavy recently, I understand that. There are some lighter videos on my Patreon as well. Please check them out if you want to support the channel. It really does help me. Other than that, stay safe. Love you all. Take care. And thank you for watching till the end. You're amazing. You really are amazing. You're doing great. And I love you. Thanks so much. Mwah. Bye. Girl, what have you done? You voted for MAGA now. I'm sure it was fun, 'cause he had a big D. But now it's you and me in the Pink Leopard Club. You voted for MAGA, now what have you done? Oh, that will not make the video. Blonde hair, blue eyes. It's me. I was the MAGA supporter. I look like an alien.